In his first video message since a barrage of sexual assault allegations, there is no mention of the more than 24 women or their accusations. Just an upbeat, energetic Cosby promoting his upcoming comedy performance in several cities.
And you know I'll be hilarious.
Bill Cosby out there in that video, that 10-second video featuring the cause on the phone, showing by ABC News the comedian encouraging someone to come to his show. Is it appropriate? In it, Cosby also says, "I'm far from finished." Harmless promotion or an insult to the more than 30 women and now accusing him of unwanted sexual advances. It's a pleasure to welcome back to MidPoint the attorney representing several of the victims claiming sexual assault by Bill Cosby, Gloria Allred. Pleasure to speak with you, Gloria.
You too. Thank you for inviting me.
All right, what was your reaction when you first saw this video?
Well, I mean, it's disgusting that he is sitting there in pajamas, especially because of the allegations made by so many women where they allege that he both drugged and sexually assaulted them, that they woke up in his bed and that there he was naked under a robe. So given that the allegations are in a, having to do with his bed and sometimes his home, to have him sitting there in pajamas tried to look like Hugh Hefner is really, I think, trying to insult the women.
Well, I know your clients are dealing with a lot of challenges because of the statute of limitations in a lot of the places where this played out, or allegedly played out, I should say. But why has there not been, it doesn't seem, there's a drip, drip, drip of information, but nothing is really stuck yet.
Well, I'm not sure that nothing is really stuck, because I think in the court of public opinion where this is playing out, Ed, that it really has had an impact. And I think that many, many more people now are believing many of the women and are disbelieving the denials of Bill Cosby and his supporters. The evidence for that is that many of his shows on his 2015 concert tour have been canceled.
But what's more important to you as an attorney? What's more important to you as an attorney? What's more important to you as an attorney, to see him pay for it in the court of public opinion, or pay for what he may or may not have done in a real court?
Well, I mean, both. Unless the problem with the real court is the statute of limitations, the arbitrary time period set by law during which a lawsuit must be filed, or it is barred. That is, the alleged victim cannot have her day in court. If the defendant here, Bill Cosby, raises the issue, it's an affirmative defense, which it's clear that he will. So, by the way, I can tell you that in Nevada on Friday, there is a bill introduced that is going to be heard, which would eliminate the statute of limitations for sexual assault in Nevada. And if
do you think that needs to happen on a federal level?
No. Well, these are state-by-state statute of limitations. In some states, there is no statute of limitations, but unfortunately, for the most victims, they are barred. Now, since there are many allegations about Bill Cosby in Nevada, this could be very important, and I intend to go there. One of my alleged victims will also be there at the legislature, and I think this is really an attempt to start to make the change that is necessary so that there can be both justice and accountability for these alleged victims.
Well, Gloria, I want to talk about the marriage equality issue when we come back from a short commercial break. But before we go, and we're standing by waiting for this Hillary Clinton press conference, as a woman who works so hard for women's rights, does it anger you that she has not been more transparent about this issue? Because it really casts a shadow over her speeches like the one we just heard at the UN.
For Hillary? Well, I think that she will be addressing it, and it's just a question of the right time, the right place. I
mean, I think the right time, a lot of folks would say, was a week ago or maybe 2 weeks ago, whenever it first surfaced.
Well, I mean, she has a sense of what she wants to do and when she wants to do it. Clearly, she will do it. And I know in this world of instant news and everything has to be done immediately, most people do expect some kind of instant answer. But that's just not, it's a complicated situation. A lot of her emails have to be reviewed by the State Department. So I'm looking forward to her response. And yeah, when she gives it, I think it'll be an important response. But it's not going to be knee-jerk just immediately or as soon as maybe some people would like it.
All right, fair enough. We are standing by for that. And so in case you don't see either myself or Gloria We're going to see former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton during that news conference. But we are going to step aside for a quick moment, take a commercial break. We'll be back with Gloria Allred. We're going to talk about the same-sex marriage battle. We've seen this back and forth, the Alabama Supreme Court and the federal appeals court. What's going to happen there? And the Supreme Court also considering the same-sex marriage issue. We'll talk about that a little bit more with Gloria Allred when we come back. Of course, we're still standing by waiting to hear from Hillary Clinton, supposed to address the email scandal. All that and more on Newsmax TV and MidPoint coming up. And we are back here on MidPoint with attorney Gloria Allred. She is representing a couple at the forefront of the same-sex marriage battle. Their case is scheduled to be heard before the U.S. Supreme Court on April 28th, and we're talking about the case of DeBoer versus Snyder. Now, tell us what's at the crux of this case, Gloria.
Actually, I'm not representing them, but I am supporting them, and they were here with their attorney with me last week. That's all right, and I did, we did file a friend of the court brief in support of them. It's a very important question that the court has decided to decide, and they're going to hear oral argument April 28th in this case. And a key issue is, does the Constitution of the United States require a state to like between two same sex? And that is the issue before the court. In this case from Michigan, also in a case from Kentucky. It will have an impact on states all over the nation, some of which upheld bans, and this is a Sixth Circuit case. April and Jayne are a couple, a lesbian couple. They adopted 4 children, 2 of whom have special needs. 2 are African American, even though they are not American. And they found that in Michigan, they could not both adopt if they were not married. And they were concerned that if one parent who did adopt died, the other parent could lose custody. So they went to court. The court suggested that their real problem was that they couldn't marry in Michigan, and that therefore they should challenge the ban on marriage equality, which they did. They won at the lower court. The United States Court of Appeals reversed. And so that's how they filed a petition for certiorari with the United States Supreme Court, and that's why their case will be heard.
Now
it's very important.
In the state of Michigan, can folks go to another state where same-sex marriage is legal and then return to Michigan and adopt a child?
Well, that actually raises the second question, which is going to be decided by the court in cases from other states, which is an out-of-state legal marriage between 2 people of the same sex, must that be recognized in a state that does not recognize same-sex marriage? And that will be decided in some other cases, which will also be argued on April 28th before the U.S. Supreme Court. So you put your finger on it, but they want to be able to marry in Michigan. They want to be able to adopt in Michigan, their own home state. They shouldn't have to go to another state to marry. And so, therefore, this issue is joined. Marriage equality is a very key civil rights issue. People who are gay, who are lesbian, should have a fundamental right to marry in the same way that the court in 1948 in a case called Loving versus Virginia struck down bans on interracial marriage as being unconstitutional in violation of the 14th Amendment. Likewise, we believe that they should strike down a ban on same-sex marriage, everyone to be treated with the respect and the dignity that they so rightly deserve.
Well, obviously, we'll get a lot more information next month when we hear the oral arguments before the Supreme Court. But what's your gut tell you at this point, Gloria? Does the Supreme Court settle the issue of gay marriage once and for all this summer?
I think they do. I'm hoping that there is going to be at least a 5-4 decision, but better yet, it would be great if it were unanimous in support of marriage equality and striking down the bans on same-sex marriage. After all, all of these people, they pay their taxes. They have all the responsibilities of citizenship. They should have the rights as well. I think that equal protection under the law and due process is long overdue for this persecuted minority who has been denied their rights for way too long. And also, the children should have a right to know that their parents can be married, that they're not second-class children of second-class relationships. Let's afford these children the respect and dignity that they also so richly deserve by allowing their parents to marry.
A very difficult position for someone to argue against adoption, gay or straight, with a track record like this couple has. Gloria Allred, thank you for your time. We do appreciate it.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you.
All right, we're going to have much more here coming up. John Bachman sitting in for Ed, but close enough. I'll take the compliment. We're coming back. We're going to have a news roundup right after this.